All right, I am live. Getting text already. All right, so I'm live. It's just me tonight. Tomorrow, I believe Metz will be joining me. We'll get back to a normal streaming schedule. The ice and snow and work schedules have not been conducive. Yo, Stogie on Wheels, what's going on? Like I was just saying, the winter has not been very kind to regular streaming, but I'm wrapping up some laundry. I just cleaned my bathroom, paid some bills, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go on and see who's here and if anybody wants to hang out and chat and shoot the shit. So how is everybody doing on this Tuesday evening? It's been a busy week of some really cool developments. What's up, Newt? I already got another job interview at a former place. Works at Five Below again. Okay, I was just in Five Below earlier today, actually. I was seeing if they had any Ghostbusters stuff for the theater for March when it comes out. Did I see the Robert Englund documentary? No, not yet. I want to. It's on Screambox, I believe, they just sent me a link. It's not live yet, to a wrestling horror movie. That when that goes live, I want to watch it with Metz. But I'm starting to get like screeners and stuff like that from streaming sites, which is pretty cool. And then my buddy Straw is sending me a movie he made in the 90s that's never gotten released, the director's cut of it. So I'm going to do a review of that probably sometime next week. It's on Vudu. Okay, all right. It's on my list. I like the Kane Hodder one a lot. I just love documentaries about horror people. But yeah, so this week we've had some cool shit go down. We got the Coney Wave screenplay book shipped, and a bunch of people have gotten their hands on it, and they told me what they thought of it. I had a follow-up meeting today with a network about a reality thing. Can't talk about that yet, but I'm very much in the running, and it could be huge if it happens. We found out today that, hence the thumbnail for this, that Shark Exorcist 2 is getting a theatrical run in Japan, which is fucking awesome. I know it had its premiere there, and they are wild about it. And the people who run it and some different bloggers and Japanese YouTubers have reached out to me about doing some different stuff. So that's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. And then we have in Australia in July, July, because they're doing Christmas in July. Triple Xmas is getting a theatrical run in Down Under. Hi, Elvira. Exactly. So we have Shark Exorcist 2 getting a theatrical run. We have the reality thing that I had to talk about today. The graphic novel I got my hands on. What else? I booked Godzilla -1, the black and white version for my theater. We have the convention this week. How you doing? I'm doing good, man. How are you? What are you doing? What's your problem? You're being weird. You're being weird for you. That's what I thought. My cat's just being ornery today. Yeah, that's what I thought. What else? 65 pages into the script for Fallon. I got the rights to you. I got the name before anybody else. Hey, good to see you too, man. Got the name before anybody else could for Amityville Halloween. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, another Amityville, but this one's going to be fun and different. It's more inspired by the Orson Welles War of the Worlds, but it's going to be shot like micro budget. And I'm going to reach out to a bunch of people who work with the channel or YouTubers who still talk to me about shooting cameos. So I think it'd be kind of fun. I got a 6-picture pitch going on right now with SRS Cinema. And I at least 2 of them I think they're extremely interested in. So it's been a busy week of spinning a bunch of plates, getting ready for the Allentown convention this weekend, getting ready for the Ohio convention next weekend, and just trying and then running the theater and all that kind of stuff. Just a lot of shit going on all at once. Hey, we body. Yeah, man, how you doing, Hardcat Dad? Just trying to stay ahead of everything. And then last night for Wayne Whitley, I shot the first Patreon recommendation video. If you got no, I do have a cameo for you. Actually, I wrote something especially for you, and I'm gonna send it to you once Fallon approves the script. The original draft that I wrote, Chin like the connotation of it. I wanted to do like a 28 Days Later thing where like, or Walking Dead. You know, Rick or Cillian Murphy are both in a coma, and they wake up and there's it's me. How we doing? They wake up in their stories and it's a zombie apocalypse. I wanted it was a couple that was having their first Halloween together, and they essentially bang through the apocalypse. And when they're done and they go back to checking their phones and getting all cleaned up, they realize that like an alien invasion had happened. But Fallon wasn't down with that, so I had to change it and I gave it something different. Why was Expendables 4 so bad? I don't know. I've only seen the first 2. How many have you seen, Elvira? Yeah. I know. Sorry, you come over for me to pet you and then you make sounds. I don't know. I've only seen the first 2 Expendables movies. Drop them legs. Yes, please. Oh, no. Thank you, man. I don't... would you ever do a review of the Jaws sequels? Yeah, I actually don't... I'm... Jaws 2 is fine. Jaws 2 is like Halloween 2. It's the same story, but like, you know, the Grindhouse version of it. 3 is terrible, but it has an amazing concept. Like, putting a shark attack in an amusement park is a great idea. 4, I wish they went with the voodoo curse angle of it. I think that would have been fucking awesome if they went with like a voodoo curse on the family, on the Brodies, and that's why the shark follows them, and you know, and Hoagie is Michael Caine's name in it. But yeah, I'd like to do the Jaws sequels, and especially with like, you know, with Shark Exorcist having a theatrical run, I got to do more shark stuff, right? But yeah, thank you for the super chat. I don't, you know, I always feel bad when people give things to this channel because it's me sitting in my living room talking as my cat chews on my toes. Can you stop? Wouldn't act this way when Metz is here. Which, if you're watching, Metz will be back tomorrow. We're gonna shoot. I think we have a review to shoot. I think we have something for either the Patreon or a funny story for the OnlyFans to shoot. How's it going? How's it going at the theater? It's going all right. Busier than I expected it to be. Mean Girls is doing well. I dropped Wonka and bringing in Godzilla -1, the black and white version, and then the Oscar nominations came out today. A lot of fixing things and keeping things moving. Last Sunday, I would like to see a talented Mr. Ripley, but starring Charles Bronson and Lee Marvin. Well, I mean, there's the fake Charles Bronson, that Brazilian guy, and talented Mr. Ripley was just remade. It was called Saltburn. I shot something with Bloodthirst Productions. They Bad Broken Babies, I think was the name of it. They came to my theater and I shot a cameo for their movie, which was fun. It's always cool to meet new people, and apparently some of them I had apparently met at the drive-in when I was with the old channel, and once they told me who they were, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. I'm always worried about who will talk to me and who won't talk to me because of that. But no, it was cool. I like getting to act in other people's stuff. And when they reached out, I was like, fuck yeah, man. And they're like, well, can we use the theater too? I was like, you come to me, it saves me gas money. So it was in their movie, and it was fun. Yeah, this one, a lot of people didn't know it was a musical. I didn't know that there was a Mean Girls musical. So when I thought that it was being remade, uh, okay, I don't know who that was. Is there another Charles Bronson lookalike? I'm pretty sure Robert Bronson. He's Hungarian? Okay. Make Easy Rider with puppets? That'd be amazing. I wanted to make the second ever, because Let My Puppets Come was the first ever puppet porno movie, and it's in the Library of Congress because they saved it. Don't ask me why. Actually, it was directed by Jerry Damiano, who did Deep Throat, but I wanted to do a puppet porn movie and call it Felt Up. Felt, because they're puppets. Okay, so the dude's Hungarian. For some reason I thought he was Brazilian. I don't know why. But yeah, I hope they find more lookalikes of like badass dead actors. I knew about the musical theater tour. I thought it was fine. I liked the songs. One of the girls who works for me said that they altered some of them to make them more PC. Because I know, like, there's even words in the how did you get so good with puns? I'm a regular punisher. No, I don't know. Just my brain goes to the lowest common denominator at all times. It's called a lack of talent. But no, I thought the new Mean Girls was fine. The only time that it really didn't hit me was when they were doing the things from the first one, like lines and stuff. It felt sort of like Rob Zombie's first Halloween, where they're just like copying a thing we already saw. I would have liked them to continue to do things a little bit different. Remember, Newt, I did make fetch work. And even my most mean girlish employee thought that was really, really funny. So I got her her seal of approval. Jaws 3 is your favorite of them? I said Lana, Dave, and I last year, I think it was, went to a 35mm 3D event where they showed Friday 3, Jaws 3, Amityville 3, all in polarized 3D on 35mm prints. And that was really cool because I'd seen them a million times, but I'd never seen them on the big screen in 3D before. So that was a lot of fun, especially Jaws 3D. The effects are just so stilted. And Amityville 3, like, it's not great, but it definitely has some shit in it that I was like, oh man, if this was fleshed out a little bit more, this would be a far, far more interesting film. I really liked the beginning of them debunking the haunted house angle. I thought that was really cool, and I love the shot of when the car was on fire because the flies were in it, and the skeleton comes towards the screen. That reminds me, I have such vivid memories of that movie. Used to be on local cable, like local broadcast TV, not even cable TV, in the 80s a lot when I was a kid, and I remember watching it at my grandparents' house a bunch of times, and when the, not grasping what 3D was and all that, then it was weird that, like, the pole comes through the window here, so it's 3D, and then her skeleton coming out and thinking, like, oh, it'd be cool if it was coming at you, and then finding out that that's how it was made to come at you, but not the movie coming at you, the Western. There was another 3D movie. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. New Jurassic Park. I hope it was the aliens. So I read that it was going to be a crossover with the Fast and the Furious. And you go, oh God, but I was like, fuck you. I want to see that. Vin Diesel and fucking dinosaurs in like souped up Jurassic Park Wranglers? Yeah, fuck yeah, let's do that, But they're both movie franchises are so off the fucking rails that, like, why not just get super weird with it and just turn it into a Roger Corman movie? Yeah, Jaws 2 used to be on constantly. Again, it's not... one of the biggest problems with Jaws 2, obviously it's the same story again. I would have... the original idea that Gottlieb had for it was to do it as the USS Indianapolis, which they would later go on to make with Nicolas Cage. But like that would be a far more interesting story because what they ultimately did was just remade the first one but with less interesting characters. Like the teenagers were so annoying. So I guess because I know they were trying to do like the Friday the 13th thing and have teenagers, so teenagers will want to go to the movie, despite the fact that the first Jaws movie is like a cultural phenomenon and basically changed the industry completely. But it's like movie executives. Lana and I were talking about this the other night. I was just like, man, 1970s Hollywood cocaine must have been amazing. Right, Elvira? Of course. So how is everybody tonight? How's everybody doing? Anything new and exciting going on? Actually, you know what? If you're going to do Fast and the Furious, I almost wish it would cross over with Transformers. That feels like it should be the next logical closure point for that series. Actually, well, yeah, I guess because Transformers is not Universal, so you can't do that. Never mind. Well, they should acquire the rights to it. There we go. Yeah, sorry it's not as interesting without Metz here. Somebody the other day messaged me and they're like, I only watch you guys when Metz is here. And I was like, sorry, it's just me. What else? What else is going on? There's so much shit going on at once and trying to keep it all together. Oh, that's awesome. I actually really like the newest Indiana Jones movie. I'm interested in Frozen Empire, as am I. I like the last one a lot. My liver discovered that I'm looking. Everybody wants to be Paulie Walnuts. I'm actually really excited about the new Ghostbusters movie. I posted my little video of my fan theory. Doing well. Nuda, forgot to tell you I met Fat Gengar and James when they were in Portland. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have any. James, I've had contact with since. The other one I haven't, but but I had a feeling it would have been shut down. No, they would have both pretended to that everything would be fine. But it's funny because I'm still very very close with Justin's sister. So but they don't want to talk to me, so I don't bother with people. Yo, what's going on, Anthony? Anthony was dealing with a bad stomach flu recently, so he wasn't feeling very well. He's been keeping me up to date on that, messaging me and stuff. All good from my side. The comic meeting went well. Now I'm finishing the script. Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I really like the script pages that you sent me, and then I did my little rewrites on them. You're a great person. Whatever, I've been. It's funny because the Shark Exorcist thing today has made me kind of ornery. Second time I said ornery today, because of how loved hearing about Coney Waves. Yeah, man, it's been exciting. People have been messaging me about it that they really like the screenplay, and it's just given them more incentive to do the wrestling slasher book with me. So I'm excited that people liked it, and a couple of reviews that have come out mentioned it. So I was like, all right, it's validation. Same thing with, like I was just saying about the Shark Exorcist thing when I had the meetings about shooting Shark Exorcist 2 scenes when I was still worked at Screenwave. If I go to PA, can I work at the theater? Sure, why not? I need people. What's your problem? You growling at? Cat's growling at something. Is it because I moved my feet? Florida Man, I posted in the Discord earlier a panel from the new your Heinz ketchup and their Walmart ketchup. I don't know about that. I posted a picture from line work on issue 5 of Florida Man. Now that I actually the artist is done working on another project, and I have put a little bit of money aside to start working on some stuff so we can get that one going again. So that was important to me, so that people don't say like, "Oh, look, he couldn't finish the comic." 4 issues are completely done. It was just it's hard when people are busy and I'm broke and trying to do shit. So it's one of those things where like if I had Ryan's dad's money, like at Screenwave, I would be able to do all this stuff, but I don't. I'm doing it myself or with the few people in my corner who believe enough in this stuff to keep helping me with things. So we're working on stuff. We're slowly working on stuff, and some things have come out already, which is awesome. More stuff is coming out. Wild Eye Releasing and I were talking about the rollout of Bigfoot Exorcist, and and Culture Shock and I were talking about the rollout of the other stuff I did with Donald Farmer, because they want me to promote it. Didn't they have a massive layoff last year? Yes, they did. But they opened a new studio, so I'm assuming they'll bring people back. I got to imagine that like the show that I used to be on isn't really doing as much money as they used to, so he's probably going to start doing like editing stuff for them or whatever. I mean, that's just me guessing. Just looking at the Social Blade and stuff like that people send me. Can you tell us about Coin Slots? Yes, Coin Slots is going to be included on the Joysticks MVD release. It was a fake 1980s teen sex comedy trailer I shot for Midnight Show at TNT Amusements, which is a really well-known arcade in the Philadelphia suburbs. Justin and I, when we were still friends and stuff, we play the same characters that we played in Planet Mirrorball, where I'm Moochie the Disco Pimp and he was the Slickmeister. And in Planet Mirrorball, it's the 70s. We hang out at the disco. In this one, we hang out at the arcade. And Mr. Lobo is the mayor, and he's going to shut down the arcade because it's a wretched hive of scum and villainy. So a teen girl gang, which is Fallon, my cousin Bernadette, and Abby, who was in some videos and stuff. They are gonna, they're gonna save the arcade. So we did some really funny like gags where Abby and Fallon are washing a 70s muscle car in a bikini, and they're having what's going on, James? They're having a hot dog eating contest where they meet in the middle like Lady and the Tramp. It's fun. It's dumb and it's fun, and we shot it in an arcade, and it looks like an 80s movie, and it was a good one. So the head of acquisitions at MVD is a friend of mine, Eric. He's like, "Can I include it on that disc?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude! Like any reason to have my stuff out there, and to have your work included on a Great On Clark movie, like how fucking cool is that?" Hey, what's going on, Race? I watched your Paperboy 3, and you should make it a full feature. Dude, I wish. The guys who created, who did well, they didn't create Paperboy, but they did they did all the porting for Atari, I think it was. They loved the Paperboy trailer. That was one that like I had to fight tooth and nail to get made. I wrote that script in 2010. We didn't shoot it till 2012 because it was just constantly trying to convince Underbelly and the other people that like we could make this work. We could do it all practical, and I wrote it as like a Canon Films revenge trailer. I got the actual the Philadelphia Inquirer is our big Philadelphia newspaper. I got the editor-in-chief of the Inquirer to come and play the editor-of-the-chief of the newspaper in this thing, who's killing his own paperboys to get press and stuff like that. I was horribly injured several times while making it. My ex, Christy, plays Paper Girl in it. She's the one who looks like Natalie Portman. Now she works, she's the head of, she's a therapist, but she does marketing and stuff for the Seattle Seahawks, the football team. So the old man is such a good bad guy. Yeah, he's the editor-in-chief of the Philadelphia Inquirer. So it was fun to have him come and be in it. It was fun. That was a really fun one. But I fell down the hill on the bike. I got burned I got a black eye while making it because it was all practical and I was trying to do stunts on my own and I got super injured many times. And then we set a fire that you could see from the turnpike on accident. So it was wild. Another reason to cut. Yeah, I agree. Actually, I love Washington State. That's where she lives with her husband now. And we talk. Not all my exes hate me. We talk daily because she knows what I went through and knows all of the players on that in that thing and told me for years not to trust them, but I didn't listen. But if I had the rights, that's right. I did, yeah. I mean, I dated somebody who looked like Natalie Portman. I dated somebody who looked like what's her face from Tron Legacy, who did what is her name? She used to be on House. I can't think of her name. Olivia Wilde, is that her name? One of my exes, like everybody goes, "Wow, your ex looks like Olivia," or your ex, my girlfriend at the time looks like Olivia Wilde. I was like, "Yeah, I know, right?" I did what's called out kicking my coverage. To go back to a football term, Olivia Wilde. All right. Um, but yeah, I used to have confidence and be charming, and I guess they used to also think that like you're making movies and we're gonna stick around just in case that pans out until they get on another show which is more popular and they don't need you anymore and then they just leave you behind. That's all right. I got Fallon and I got Natasha Henstridge is super hot. I got Fallon and I got Madeline and they're in my corner and we're gonna do some cool stuff. So whatever. It is what it is right now. And Metz is always here to be my muscle as well if I ever have a problem. So it's just a matter of just getting. Fallon's also cute. Yeah, Fallon's pretty great. Your exes both look like Olivia Wilde. All right, there you go. I've never been compared to Jason Sudeikis before, but I'll go with that. I'll be Ted Lasso. But it's just we'd say Metz is your heater. Yeah, well, Metz is at wrestling practice now. I don't know, is they call it practice? Wrestling training? And then it's going to be interesting. We're going to be driving, Metz and I to be driving 6 hours to Ohio for the convention next weekend. So we'll see how that goes. We've never been trapped in a car together like that for long. So we'll see whose music wins out. I have a feeling Metz as well. It's camp and you know it. Is it camp? Is it wrestling camp? Have you watched Ted Lasso? I have not yet. What's it streaming on? Because I wanted to watch it because they talk about it a lot. But I have not seen it yet, but I want to. People bring up shows all the time, and it's on my list. It's just saying it to bug Metz. Oh, okay. Oh, my dryer's done. You guys always catch these streams or videos when I'm drying my clothes. How does licensing work? Do you approach for the Paperboy licensing? It's on Apple TV. Okay. I have Paramount Plus, Netflix. Well, no, actually, I borrowed Metz's Netflix. I don't have Apple TV, but I'll check it out. I don't know how the rights will work on that one. I'm sure it would be far too expensive. It was never meant to be anything more than just a fake trailer. And the way we shot it was we shot it digitally, and then we ran it back through a VCR and then reconverted it. So we did that way before fucking Kung Fury did it, and that thing was super popular when we had done it. It was like the front page of like Kotaku and stuff like that, and I thought we were on our way. And then obviously there was all the mess with Silvermania, and that kind of killed any momentum that we had. Whatever happened with that thing you filmed at Lloyd Kaufman? It's out on the festival circuit. It's called The Boog, and it's done by Red Cup Films. They also shot the segment I wrote for Amityville versus the Galactic Samurai Schoolgirls. I don't know when they're going to post it online, but it's in a bunch of film festivals. and events and stuff like that. So, and my part, it's like super tiny. And Lloyd's in one scene of it as well, but it's screened before. It's anywhere that Triple Xmas is screening, it's screening before it, along with a bunch of shorts that I made and fake trailers and shit that I made. But it was fun to hang out with Lloyd for the day and gossip about the game and stuff like that. So, but I think he's in. He also shot a scene for Amityville versus the Galactic Samurai Schoolgirls because Will Keenan's in it as well. So I got to work with him more than once this year. I don't know. It's cool when they'll say yes to. I mean, I don't know. He says yes to everything, but it's just still fun when people agree to be in your stuff. Same thing with getting like Eric Roberts to be in Scissors that I was a writer on. Dude's an Academy Award nominated actor, and they'll say, oh, he'll do anything. But I was like, I don't care. To me, that's huge. Little mutton chop movie mogul. I know. For filming the other day, I forgot that I needed the mutton chops, so I tried to let them grow as quick as possible. I need to start looking for a small theater that runs stuff like that around my way. Running a movie theater it's not the business you want to be in. The game is shifting so much, and the deck is so stacked against the little guys that like having a venue seems like it would be the best way to do that kind of stuff now. Did I read the Superman 78 comics? No, I read Batman 89. I have the graphic novel there on my bookshelf, but I did not read the Superman one yet. And there's a sequel to Batman 89 coming up that has Harley Quinn and the Scarecrow in it, which is, I think, based on what was going to be the Batman Triumph or Triumphant script. If Batman Batman and Robin didn't fail as badly as it did. It's cool that they're doing this stuff though. Like, I'd love if they did a comic book version of Kevin Smith's Superman Lives script. I wish they would do a comic book version of Affleck's Batman script. It's like, you have this shit, do something with it. I'm sure they have to figure out the likeness rights and all that kind of stuff, but I think it would be really cool when people want to see it. Would you ever work with Danzig if he asked you? If Danzig ever asked me, yes, I would. His movies are so bizarre. He's the horror movie Tommy Wiseau. I'll work with anybody, really. It's just like, as long as you're not like a sex pest or something like that, or an abuser, racist or some shit, like, fuck yeah, man, let's make things, More so, people are like, why the fuck will you want to work with this guy? He's a plagiarist. But yeah, I saw Danzig's Western with the redhead, actually. We went and saw oops, no Hollywood for them. Yeah, unfortunately, that's pretty much everybody in Hollywood. So is the president of Harvard. Well, I guess I could never be the president of Harvard then, My favorite live-action Bruce Wayne is Ben Affleck. Keaton being a close second when it comes to live action. Obviously, in the Altogether, it's Kevin Conroy, but I felt like Affleck was the one who... I think there was a car accident outside. Affleck's the one who most felt like Bruce Wayne to me. Where Danzig got knocked... Yeah, I remember the Danzig getting knocked out thing. Was there any sound in the Danzig movie? Which one? Veronica, I remember there was. It might have been a lot of ADR. And then the other one was Death Rider. We did that one as a Patreon video for the old show. I don't know if it ever aired or anything like that because I never got to see the Patreon. He was going to make me pay for it if I wanted to. There was no music. It was fucking bizarre. For a dude who's known for music to not have any music in the movie. Yeah, I don't know. I hope he keeps making movies. They're just bizarre. And I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or he doesn't learn because he finds a way to be bad, but in new ways in the second movie. Which is impressive if you ask me, But yeah, no, if I got asked to be in one of those type of things, I'd do that in a fucking heartbeat, man. I'll travel. I'll pay for myself to travel out there to go do stuff with people. It was Danny from NSK. Okay, that's right. I think you and I have had this conversation before, Race. Clooney would have been great. Yeah, I mean, he felt he felt like he could have been a great Bruce Wayne. Would you shoot 35 millimeter or stick to digital? Digital. As much as I love 35 millimeter, it's too expensive. It's too unyieldy. But it is my favorite. Like if I was Quentin Tarantino and I knew the ins and outs of shooting 35 millimeter, then I would definitely work on it. Said the Twitter X could be helped. Jews in the Holocaust. Jesus Christ. Just because somebody has money doesn't mean that we should listen to them. That's the scary part about certain people having platforms. That's ideology is so narrow because they're so used to people telling them that they're right all the time or being afraid to tell them the truth. So they don't have to expand their worldview. I there's a lot of things that I'm incredibly liberal about, like bleeding heart liberal about. But then there's also a lot of shit that I'm super conservative about too. Like I would never trust a Republican with social matters, but I'd also really hard trusting Democrats with economic matters in a lot of regards. I don't know. I try to impart common sense on people. I also, I also like making really dirty, mean-spirited jokes, but like to people who you're not punching down, and then also people like they get that it's a joke and you're taking the piss out of a situation and not just doing it to be mean-spirited. The world's changed a lot. No Country for Old Men. Femboy Nazi. But new common sense isn't common. No, I know it's not. I know they do better with the economy. I'm fully aware of that. I'm just saying, like, there were fiscally conservative Republicans that I grew up knowing. They're not that anymore, but that's the version of it that I grew up around. So that's like, plus I'm all for like the death penalty, and I have no problem with guns as long as they're you're not giving every fucking kid with a bowl haircut and 1,000-yard stare a fucking instrument of war. Because I've been like Too Many Games is the Oaks Convention Center, and as long as you have them, that's right. Yeah, you can. The like we used to watch those gun shows that would go on the other side, and they would just be buying like fucking GI Joe weapons out of the trunks of dudes' cars, and I'd be like, how is this okay? I don't know. Yeah, I've fired a few, but it's not my thing. Yeah, but again, a lot of that with Affleck was the studio's meddling. Had they just let them go, I may go on my birthday to see Nosferatu. Okay. It's very true. Red versus blue lasers. I think I used to talk all the time about wanting to do a screenplay. Obviously, I can't get the rights to GI Joe, but like if you had like a fake GI Joe and the government finally like cuts that program, and now all these people like shipwreck and stuff like that all have to go get like real jobs. And it's like, how can these people whose jobs it is to be these colorful, eccentric soldiers in this futuristic war, like how would they function in the real world? Plus, I grew up with 90s GI Joe where everybody wore neon, and it was just like the idea of guys who are in the military who are supposed to be blending in or a tactical force, all wearing like neon spandex, is the effects of a never-ending war on terror and like what that does to the mental the mental state of the soldier. Action Man, I don't know. It'd just be funny to see these guys because GI Joe had like very specific roles for these people, and it was like, how would they function out in reality? Am I growing the burns out? No, I needed them for a shoot the other day, and I purposely didn't shave for a few days so that they would look somewhat okay, and then just shave to make them so that it fit in with the what the guy wanted. Leave me and my spandex alone. Crayon eating dirtbags forever. Exactly. Scarlett would have an OnlyFans. I'd be all right with that. Despite the fact that I'm swearing off redheads from now on. Somebody tagged me in something earlier today, and it's hashtag not all redheads, and I tagged Amanda or Madeline in it to be like, is this true? How you doing with the ladies? I don't know. Just talk to Fallon every day because we're working on a script together. I went on a date a couple weeks ago. We were supposed to have another one with another female friend of mine last Friday, but it got snowed out, so we didn't get a chance to do that. But that girl wants to do a review with me of something, so we'll figure that out at some point. You know, a date with Fallon. No, it was another girl I went to middle school with. I haven't seen her in years. She's a doctor now, and we hung out, and it was a good time. And then another girl who I had hung out with back when I had first gotten let go from Screenwave, the one that they took pictures of us in the sushi place. That it was supposed to come see a movie with us last week, but it got snowed out. But she wants to do a review with me because she's super into movies as well. So we'll see how it goes. No, Fallon and I are working on a script together right now. And we have the convention coming up and stuff like that. We're just friends. What those characters would be in the real world. She wants to practice bad medicine on you. I'd be fine with that. Actually, no. She's a neurosurgeon. Dude, have you ever dated a black woman before? Yes, several actually. Sushi girl again. Yeah. Yeah, I've dated all colors of the rainbow. I love I'm just a big fan of beautiful women in all ways, shapes, and forms. And if they'll lower themselves to be with someone who looks like me, well, God bless them. Is she a hot doctor? Yeah, she's a blonde. She's very attractive. I used to have such a crush on her in middle school and stuff like that. And we kept in touch, and then she moved back to the area, so we were hanging out. But she's a neurosurgeon for animals. So she can give me a full frontal lobotomy. Because I think I need one. I'll be like the Kennedy daughter. You're dating a brain surgeon. No, we're not dating. Intergalactic women? I wish. That would be that'd be the best thing. Is just like aliens show up and they're like, he has to fuck to save humanity. And I'm like, finally, my day has come. My only skill to save the human race. I'm excited about Jurassic Park. Not really. David Cope is coming back. Who cares? I really disliked the last ones. This is how good porn starts. That's right. I save the world. They erect statues to my erection. There he is. Homeboy fucked a Martian once. But that's the twist ending of my Amityville vs. the Galactic Samurai Schoolgirls script. Is you have these 3 hot aliens that show up, and the dudes think that they're there to take over the world, so they're fighting, and then the women are like, no, we don't care about your world. You guys are primitive monkeys. Like, we're here to collect specimens for the pleasure mines. And they're like, they put their guns down. They're like, well, you got us, Look it up. I remember Ninja Sex Party. Date a hot alien chick. Yeah, like are we talking like Orion slave girls? I would be all right like that. That sounds like Warhammer. I don't know Warhammer. I mean, I know of Warhammer, but I don't know Warhammer. What happened with the cute, shy black girl you had in some of your videos? She moved to Michigan. She had a baby. That's Allie. Trust me, I've most women I've been with are way bigger than like taller than me, so I'm fine dying like that. But yeah, Allie had a baby and moved to Michigan. We talk all the time. Actually, I was talking to another one of my exes today about her because we were talking about like women who still appear in my videos. What about who's Marissa? Melissa. Melissa is working a ton. She'll be at the convention this weekend. I haven't really seen much of her recently. We text like weekly, 2-3 times a week. But she's been way too busy to hang out of late. But she's gonna come join us at the convention on Saturday. I don't think I've seen Melissa since summer. That's how long it's been. But yeah, I miss Allie. But Allie's like my biggest fucking fan. She loves my writing, and she was always a great person to bounce things off and would always come out. And she's a power lifter. She's like strong as fuck. And yeah, her baby's super cute. Not even a baby anymore. It's like a year old, I think. She's a year old. I say it like it's a like we don't know. Yeah, but I mean, once I have some funding and shit like that, I definitely plan on trying to coax her back out here to come be in something. She was in everything I made. I wrote Planet Frankenstein for her. So she's married now. Yep, she's married now. It was funny. The very first scene that we ever, it hasn't decided its pronouns yet. No, it's a little girl. She's a little girl. I'm saying it again. Like, it's too early to know. The very first thing we ever shot was for 4 coin slots, and in coin slots, she goes down on me, but you see her like going down. It's like and it making the waka 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 the Pac-Man sound, and it was with her then boyfriend watching from across the thing, and it was super weird because my friend Rabbit, who passed away 2 years ago now, was a roller derby girl, and she worked with Abby, and I needed an actress for this part, and she's like, "You'd love my friend," and that's how we became friends through that. But our very first scene together was that with her then boyfriend looking at me like, "What the fuck is happening here?" Did you come during the scene or after? After, but that was because my then girlfriend was there. And we couldn't tell people that we were seeing each other at that point. And this other director was like hitting on her the entire time, and it was really uncomfortable for everybody. So that was fun. It's just a lot of women who just like, "Hey, I have another boyfriend. Please don't tell people that we're banging." There's a lot of that going on in my life. I'm a good side piece, I think. It's kind of my lot in life. Why didn't you kick his ass? Have I watched Reacher? No, but that was the dude. First off, it's come second off. Okay. No, I haven't, but that's the dude who's Hawk from the first 2 seasons of Titans, who's Jack Reacher now. Newt Male Gigolo. I wish. If I get paid, I've just been giving it away all these years. What a waste. I should be saving it up. Right, Elvira? Reach around. Jack Reach around. Newt Bigelow, Male Gigolo. Well, I hope I'm not him. Was the Jolly Giant Spielberg movie any good? What was that? Like BFG? Like Big Fucking Giant or something like that? I did not see it. I didn't know... Well, yeah, because I think Metz took out like all the words that would get things blocked, and then I kind of dictate who I want, because we have people in here who we have to censor every so often. Ding-a-ling, reaching to the floor. Yeah, but I've taken all that out so people don't have to worry about their comments being filtered out or something like that, because a lot of times it's just like I curse all the fucking time. So I didn't want other people to feel like they couldn't express themselves. You've been censoring me? I don't think so. I always see your comments. And I always respond to everybody's, their comments on videos and stuff like that. The only people there's a good number of people who are censored from the channel, simply because one dude who writes the fucking blog in England has like 20 different sock accounts, and I've blocked him now from like 15 of them. It's in first person. I did see, I Want to Marry My Old Babysitter. I know, you told me you guys made out. I remember that. Yeah, it's like Indiana Jones and I was going to say The Perfect Circle, but that's a band. Legend of the Golden Compass or something. Oh yeah, that gamer. Yeah. I've blocked him from 15 different accounts, and he just keeps trying, and then he calls me sad and like I'm a loser, but I'm like, dude, you've been saying the same shit for 2 years. I'm ugly and I plagiarized. Great, move on. Let's find something else. There's plenty of other things you can make fun of me about. But no, the Indiana Jones trailer looks cool. I like the whip shit. It's got like an Uncharted kind of vibe to it. I don't know. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan though, so anything, I'll give it a try. Obviously, I'm not a gamer, so I'll probably won't play it, but I'll watch gameplay of it because I think it's fucking cool. It's like the Evil Dead games and stuff like that. I'd love to see Indiana Jones in a perfect circle. Yeah, it's Indiana Jones, and he teams up with Maynard. I don't know. No, it looked cool. I saw and it's set between Raiders and Last Crusade. So he's shooting Nazis on airplanes and shit like that. Let's make wine together. When I saw Puscifer, he made everybody stand outside until he got the vibe of the room right. So we all had to stand outside in line in like the fucking freezing cold in Philadelphia, and I was like, this sucks. Like, why are we doing this? It's not even Tool. It's Puscifer, whatever they're called. I actually did like A Perfect Circle though. Did I like the movie Hardcore Henry? I didn't see it. I know what it is. The first person movie. I didn't see it. I liked Crank. That wasn't a first person one, but it had the same kind of vibe to it. People complaining it's the first person. Forget the complaints about Metroid Prime. Yeah, everybody was bitching about that one. I was still working at Screamwave, I think, when that came out, and people were bitching about that one. I don't know. Again, I'm not much of a video game guy. I like retro games. I still have my what's the thing called? They can play a bunch of them. Oh, that's right. He is in Arizona. And no, not an emulator. It's the one that can play. It's got the slots for a couple different ones. Yeah, I wouldn't do any more. I wouldn't do any more. No. It's not RetroCon or what? I don't know. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and I have a couple of my old games. It was a gift from the redhead to me years ago. And I still have like a couple games and stuff like that. Hey man, glad to see you didn't freeze to death. It sucked. Driving home in the snow and ice storm that night was terrible. But the video I put up was from 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up to thaw out my car to get to work, and the roads were still an icy mess because they plowed them, but they didn't salt them first. So you're literally just driving on ice, you know? Yeah, somebody told me that. I didn't know that she was doing video games, which is really, really funny because she was never into video games until she started, banging someone who's into video games. Castlevania and Mega Man. I played the Castlevania games all the way up to Super Nintendo. I think Symphony of the Night was the last one that I played. But like, I love the first two. Uncharted. Uncharted was the one where I wish she did a bikini hot tub switch stream and then sold her farts. No, I'm sure she has. I don't know. I don't know what their talents are anymore. Talents. She got a new boyfriend. And she's super happy, and everybody's happy without Newt. Ninja Gaiden was hard. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden was hard. Fucking Ghosts and Goblins was fucking hard. You know, that was my era though. Like all the way up to the first PlayStation. The only reason I had a PlayStation 2 was because it played DVDs. Oh, I don't know. I don't whatever. I'm never happy. You shouldn't be. I'm a great dude. And trust me, if this reality thing happens that we had the meeting about today, it's definitely going to alter some states, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of my old videos wound up back in their playlist again to try to capitalize off it. But we'll see what happens, Splatterhouse is my favorite game ever. I fucking love Splatterhouse. I have is it here still? I have the Japanese Splatterhouse release still. No, I genuinely think people are happier without me in their lives, and that's great. That's good for them. I also am getting to the point where I realize that, like, things happen for a reason, and I wish they didn't happen the way they did, but freeing yourself up to be able to do your own thing is super important. And, we were talking about it today with the whole do plot destruction. I mean, no, I plotted my own destruction. That's the biggest thing. But we were talking about it with the Shark Exorcist thing, that when and I think I started talking about this and I changed, that subject got changed earlier. It's getting a theatrical run in Japan. Like, it's gonna play. It had its premiere there, but now it's getting like a theatrical run, like a real movie, And then I think back to do a winter back. No, I won't. I'm dead. I'm completely dead to those people. That's it is what it is. I've taken them out of as many projects as possible so that I don't get sued or anything like that. We're jumping back onto it. But no, I was going into the I went back into the sitting there in the meeting when we were talking about what I had written for Donald Farmer. We were going to do this whole fucking huge opening to Shark Exorcist 2, and for Ryan to say that, "Hey, Professor Macabro, how you doing?" To say, like, aren't you embarrassed to have Shark Exorcist 2 on your IMDb? And, he used to say the same thing about James. He's like, it's okay to like Ed Wood, but you shouldn't want to be Ed Wood. And I was like, what's wrong with being Ed Wood? What's wrong with being Mark Borchardt? What's wrong with being Donald Farmer? Like, people know who they are. They've done their own things. They tell their own stories. And when you look at their work, you know who that is. They have their own style. So we shot this whole thing, and then all that stuff happened, and then they were just like, we don't want to be associated with this. This is going to get made fun of. This is going to hurt, us getting YouTubers to come on or film people to come on, stuff like that. And it's like, well, I believe in this. I believe that it's a viable thing. If it gets made fun of by Red Letter Media, whatever. So now 1 million people, how many views they get, are going to know a thing that you did. And it's like, and now it's playing in theaters in Japan, and it's like, had I not gone on and shot my own thing, I wouldn't have had that opportunity. And now I have that opportunity. Instead of sitting around and waiting and doing other people's work for them so that they hold a carrot over your head to say, oh yeah, we're gonna make Sharkula, but you first, go do all this work that should be somebody else's work. So in that regard, what's wrong with being Peter North? I used to play for a hockey team called the Peter North Stars, and our logo was the Minnesota North Stars logo, but the tip of the N was a dick. Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with being TT Boy? Funny story. I hung out with TT Boy, and because I know Tommy Gunn really well because he's from my hometown, and him and TT Boy were out one night, and they asked me if I wanted to go to this place called PJ Wellahan's, which is like a bar, like it's like a TGI Fridays kind of thing. And it was really weird to go and hang out with them because people knew who they were. There was a wrestler in the 80s named Ron Jeremy. I used to know Ron Jeremy too, but the shit that he did, I just can't abide that. So I removed him from the projects he had shot stuff for me. I don't know. It's just, we're getting closer to seeing things to fruition. To see Debbie Does Demons have the to come out and the slipcover to sell as well as it did. It fucking sold out. Like something I worked on is going for like $100 on eBay right now. Like that's crazy. Like, the comic book that I wrote the screenplay for way back in 2010, or 2011 when we did it, and it pitched in 2012. Like that's real now. That's a thing that I have my hands on. And that kind of stuff is what's most important to me is, Reddit can't take this away, you can make fun they can make fun of Swamp Zombies too and say it's a piece of shit and all that kind of stuff. How much are your panties going for on eBay? Not much. Why can't Shark Exorcist be in theaters here? I don't know. Well, I think it's has to do with Wild Eye's licensing. But I'm gonna try to get a screening at least where I can. I know enough people who have theaters, and that's the cool thing is like my biggest goal is not doing YouTube stuff, not sitting here and like worrying about if a video does X amount of views or whenever, can Fathom do a one-off? No, I don't think so. I think, but I know that Wild Eye will promote it really well, and I know there's a lot of people who covered it. The first one that, like your movie sucks and shit like that. So the first one got a ton of looks. Even Stephen King put out a tweet about the first movie, and that's why when I was just like, fuck, why wouldn't you want to be involved with or with Shark Exorcist 2? Like, it's such a fucking no-brainer, Am I jumping on the Stanley Cup stealing bandwagon? You mean like the lady drinks, like the white lady drinks, or do you mean like the pro hockey one? Because our local team, the Flyers, are having a little bit of a problem. Their goalie stepped away from the team because his name's going to come out in a damning report soon about the 2018 World Juniors. Donald Farmer, no, not that Donald Farmer. Donald Farmer did like Scream Dream back in the day, and Hooker with a Hacksaw, and Demon Cop and shit like that back in the day. Stanley Cup versus Stanley Cup. Yeah, there's the white lady one, and then there's Lord Stanley's Cup. The pro hockey one. Oh, okay. I saw like a I guess it's not Live Leaks or like World Star, but it was like this dude just like punching someone at Target and just walking away with a box of it, and I was like, I believe in him and his convictions. No, I got to see I got to get my picture taken with the real Stanley Cup twice. That was pretty cool. So wow, I miss Metz. I know Metz will be back tomorrow. I was saying before a bunch of you got on that people were messaging me and being like, "Where's Metz? We only watch when Metz is here." And I'm like, "Sorry, jeez." Hooker with a hacksaw versus Hobo with a shotgun. Well, Hooker with a hacksaw has Jessa Flux in it, who's also in a couple other projects I did. Hobo with a shotgun, Rucker Hauer's dead, so I don't know how we're gonna do that. Because I've seen so much crap. I did a review yesterday of Ricky O, and in that I rattle off a bunch of Hong Kong movies and stuff like that. They kind of Ricky O kind of introduced me to a world outside of kaiju films and all that. Metz is the cherry on top. Metz is the wild card, But they're at wrestling camp, as Ray said tonight. So I thought I would jump on and see who's up and who's around and doing stuff, and then tomorrow we'll jump back on and we'll do our drinking one, because I'm actually off on Thursday. Today I had to go in early and do some box office reports and I booked Godzilla -1, the black and white version of it. I remember having a Stanley thermos, but I didn't know that they had become like the new Karen accessory. Like they threw away their little dogs and got that instead. We ever review Visitor Q? I don't think I know that one. I don't think I'll have to look that one up. There's The Visitor, which is a 70s movie. My understanding is Newt still carries a thermos. I wish I had a thermos, man. That'd be awesome. I always just carry around Gatorade bottles everywhere with me. But no, if I had a thermos, put some hot liquid in there, put a little booze in there. But I'd get one, like if I had a thermos, I would get one that like they put in like old like 80s lunch boxes. Like I'd have like a Rainbow Bright one or something like that. Or the Snorks. I found that the less I try to understand suburban white women, the happier I am. Visitor Q is... Oh, okay. Thundercats. Yes, I should have gotten a Thundercats one. Q the Winged Serpent is great. I think there's a review of Q the Winged Serpent on the channel that my buddy Craig did. He's Butch Patrick's manager, and he'll be at the Ohio convention as well. And I met him when I was with the old show, when we were guests at Astronomicon in Michigan, and Craig and I just hit it off, and then we talked Butch Patrick into driving us around in the Munsters car. But Craig and I stayed friends after all that because they didn't like the way that they were treated. He and Butch Patrick didn't like the way that they were treated by my former crew, so we stayed friends. So he did a review for me, and he's gonna do more too. He's a cool fucking dude. But I could be civil and nice to people and not want anything from them. I don't want anything from anyone other than friendship. That's all I want. I say that to Race all the time. I'm like, dude, all I want is friends. You get to ride in the Munsters car. Yes, we did. It was on the old channel. Oh, that's broken. Okay. Well, I got to get a new bag and board. Yeah, it was really cool to be, because I grew up with the Munsters. I think they knew of them, but they weren't as wild about the Munsters as I am. When I lived in, you have my sword and my axe. When I lived in Arizona, when I was dating Justin Silverman's sister, we literally would just spend days just like watching after work, just watching the Munsters on Netflix until we fell asleep. The Munsters and the Addams Family and Bewitched and shit like that, just kind of like to pass the time. If I had to pick, I prefer the Addams Family as a concept. I prefer the Munsters as a show. Favorite book? Um, hmm. What's your favorite book, Elvira? Mouse? I don't know. The Holy Bible. No, I don't know. I don't know. What have I read? I guess I've read. I've reread like the gothic horror shit the most times. But then there's like stuff like Native Son, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Repair, Stephen King stuff, Edgar Allan Poe stuff, Lovecraft stuff, Dean Koontz. Like I was a way bigger reader back before. It's great. And he's also great in Pet Cemetery. He's fucking awesome in Pet Cemetery. He totally nails that like main accent. But yeah, I prefer the Addams Family in general. I love the two Addams Family movies, and I'm excited for what they do with Wednesday to make it less of a Harry Potter meets Sabrina meets the X-Men kind of thing, and get back to telling an Addams Family story. Because I thought that Jenna Ortega was perfectly cast. I just didn't think that. How many film ideas do you steal from your dreams? I do keep. I keep my phone next to my bed, and I'll wake up and write stuff down. Recently, there's been a lot of shit that's like I've had dreams of, and I've just woken up and like texted somebody right away. It's like, okay, I had this dream and this idea in a dream. What do you think about this? Recently with Fallon too, like how to fix sucks to suck. I had a whole dream of it. Like I literally dreamed 3 acts. And when I woke up, I told her about it, and she was like, "Holy shit, that's way better." I was like, "Thank you." My subconscious sometimes doesn't abuse me by reminding me of all my mistakes. Because the whole thing about me is I unfortunately have extremely vivid dreams, and that's why I have to medicate myself to sleep. Personally, I like Millie, Lily, and Morticia. There was just something different. What went wrong with Sucks to Suck? Nothing. Fallon and I had a very different set of opinions on where things should go, and we kind of went off on our own directions. And Fallon shot a bunch of stuff in Colorado and in Vegas and stuff like that, and it just didn't work out the way that she wanted. And then like another dude who shot a bunch of stuff for her, just like he thought that they were going to enter into a relationship or something, and she's like, that's not what this is. So that dude like pulled a Hack the Movies and deleted all this shit. She was like, and you were the director. Writer, we both were producing and directing, but we have it now to where the stuff that we shot, the two of us shot, how that will work out, and then just shooting a new body around it. And but we're going to do Amityville Halloween first, take the money from that, and then put that into Sucks to Suck to get that finished. And then, so that'll be good. Like, it'll just be more of an open dialogue between us instead of me trying to... The biggest thing was I was trying to understand exactly what she wanted, and we weren't communicating in a way where we were both understanding where the other person was coming from. And that comes from me being so used to... when I'm shooting something that I wrote, doing it my way. Fallon is good for the Newtverse. I agree. And just a great person, too. Just a fucking good person, and you know, people are like, oh, you're only there because of connections and stuff. And I'm like, in what world would Fallon, who's friends with all these fucking famous people, need me? Like, it just doesn't work that way, you know? Jenna Ortega's in the new Beetlejuice. Yeah, she's I keep doing that whole, I want to start just becoming a character and just doing like my old show did, and just like, you know, I'm just trying to sell you something, and I'm like, smash that bell, you know? Fallon into the Newtverse. That would be great. All my ex-girlfriends and different versions of myself and different timelines where Monster Mania goes well, and I got the 20% raise that I was supposed to get, that apparently when Kieran did his whole spilling the beans on them, Ryan said the exact same thing to him. So clearly that 20% was like a thing that they used to hold over people's heads. Just, nobody here burps. My cat burps sometimes, but that's about it. Preserve your integrity. I have no integrity. I've never had any integrity. But no, I think that, I think that, I don't know, P. That was the talk, and I remember being way more accepting than some other people. I think they were using the same name. I don't think they were dead naming. Still waiting for another ash can for Allie. Yeah, I gotta get more. All of them are in Joe, who you met's his garage. So I got to go pick up a box on Friday for the convention on Saturday. All my schlock and all stuff is in his garage for conventions and all. We haven't done anything since VHS Fest, so I haven't done a convention in over a year now. But as far as transitioning, I don't know. I thought that she was my friend. So I was far more accepting and just like, what can I do to help and all that kind of stuff. But someone else that I worked with was like, you're not going to be one of those weird ones, right? Like, you're not going to have mental problems. And I was just like, uh-oh, this person should be fired, but they weren't. Whatever. But no, I'm excited to get back into doing conventions. I miss doing them. And then I think there's one in Tampa that said that they would bring us out. There's another one in Nebraska, I think, in April or May. But that depends on if I get the TV show thing. Race knows about the TV show thing because I called Race while I was in New York at 30 Rock for that meeting. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, I hope that that's not true. Yeah, you were getting ready to leave for Japan, I remember. Because I talked to Allie on the phone. You were in New York City. Yeah, I was in New York. I had a meeting at 30 Rock for a thing that maybe I'll get, maybe I won't, but we'll see. I hope that the faking it isn't true. That would suck. But I mean, I don't think it is. I despite what people think of me, I do hope the best for people, and I want people to live their best lives and not, to live. It's the same thing with like Metz, where I was worried that people who watch me would not be as accepting of people who are trans or whatever, and the whole thing is like, I don't fucking care about any of that shit. Just be a good person and supportive and open to the community, and also know that like not everybody who says things is saying it in a malicious way. Like, if somebody misgenders Metz, they're not doing it to be malicious all the time. It's just they know that it's difficult for people sometimes to understand, especially because Metz is more feminine facing, but and it took me a while too to have I seen The Holdovers? Not yet, but it got a bunch of Oscar nods. I'm so proud of the community that we fostered, that people are cool about it and have not been shitty about it. It's hard to see a Jaguar and not call it a Jaguar. Exactly. I can't sing worth shit. Yeah, and exactly. It is the whole thing, and I just like my I want people to be cool and to have a little community where they don't feel like they're shitty people. Like, you got, what Race and I call train conductors in the Discord and stuff like that. But, we have a nice positive community where people are nice to each other and supportive of each other. And even in the comments, yeah, there's shitty comments every so often. But like not backing down from it, like, so we are the bad dudes. I want to be like the '80s. Like that'd be cool if we were like Metz and I as a side-scrolling beat 'em up, and then we're gonna have a burger with the president. Yeah, exactly, Race. That's the whole thing. Is like, did you see that? No, I haven't yet, but a couple people have sent it to me. I just need to watch it. It's called like the Court Jester or something like that. I need to watch it. All my posts. It's hard to watch. Okay. Oh, like in a bad way or like in a cringe fun way or okay. Yeah, it's on my saved list. I just haven't had a chance to check it out yet. But I plan to in a surreal way. Oh, all right. What if the leopard is like Leatherface and wears the skin? That'd be cool. They're doing Trick or Treat Studios is doing the Leatherface mask from the recent game, which looks really really cool because they're doing like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, Slimer, and the Librarian Ghost as well. I saw some really neat stuff. Isn't Richard pissed off? Oh yeah, I saw he didn't approve of Pauly Shore playing him in the short film. I know it premiered at they're doing Lost Boys as well. That's a movie I need to cover at some point because I have fucking stories galore about the Lost Boys. One of my favorites from the '80s. Oh yeah, but his Robin Williams' daughter wasn't down with that. I think that was the whole case with that one. Um, that's a hard one too. Like the fucking if I ever do anything Robin Williams wise, I'm apprehensive about telling my Robin Williams story because it does open up a whole mental health, ball of strings. There's shirts at Hot Topic. Oh, okay. Ryan Gosling releases a statement. Oh, is she? She's Zelda. I just love that Robin Williams was a big nerd. Like he was into fucking video games and Evangelion, and he's the one who talked the woman who played April O'Neil in the first Ninja Turtles movie into doing the movie. Like I love when you find out that like actors who you know are like big fucking nerds. I'm gonna check out Lisa Frankenstein. I saw the trailer for it. It looks fun. People don't realize how big both. Yeah, and Corey Haim died owing me $14 that I'll never get back. I had to drive Corey Haim, Jason Mewes, and that guy Kevin, who was in the Ghost House video with me, who were all high on whatever they were on, to Best Buy to buy physical media, to buy DVDs for their hotel room at a convention one time. And I gave Corey Haim $14, and he said he'd hit me back by the end of the convention. And then a couple months later, he was dead. So I'll never get that $14 back. I should break out the Ouija board and find out find out what's up with that. License to Drive with a young Heather Graham in that movie. She was the girl. But yeah, the saxophone guy used to be from the Lost Boys. Used to be my thing. We used to have like employees. Hey, what's going on, Goblin? Did I ever tell the story before about my lunch with Corey Feldman? I don't know if I've ever told that story before. But yeah, we used to have like a thing. It was like employee picks for the week. For the comic book store I ran, and my pick thing had the saxophone guy, but it was my head with the ponytail and everything like that. I'm wondering if anybody ever gets back to Doug Walker with that. He's like, Newt's been talking to ghosts on your Ouija board, and he's like, which one's Newt? Oh, the plagiarist. Oh, okay. Let me see what we got here. I'm just catching up on anybody's. If I missed your comment, let me know. I need all the Corey Feldman stories. I want a Witchboard review. Which one? Jesus Christ. Isn't there like 100 of those movies? No, so I wrote a script in 2003, maybe. Music Foods Country. Yeah, well, he used to be what's it called? He used to be Tina Turner's saxophonist. So he's in all of her fucking videos and stuff like that, including for Mad Max, you know. Yeah, so Corey Feldman, back in 2003, 2004, I had written a script that was originally called Chlorophobia, and we changed it to Die Laughing. And it was essentially, it starts as a John Hughes movie that becomes a Lucio Fulci movie, and it was before the zombie craze had kicked back up again. And I had a literary agent at the time, it was right out of film school, and he introduced us to somebody in LA, and we got brought out to LA for this writer's room thing. And it was it was before Rob Zombie took over Halloween and before all the remake shit started happening. Contacting Corey. Sorry, I'm reading everything. I should write a the kid stays in the picture style story. But yeah, let me get to this one. So, got brought out to LA, brought that guy Kevin with me. And it's funny that, so the other guy who came with us wore a cape. He was into LARPing, and when we would have our meetings, like, we'd all have to wear, like, shirt and fucking ties and shine your shoes and all this kind of stuff. And Homeboy's wearing, like, a cape, like he's, like, out of the Shire. And his aunt is Meredith from The Office, and Meredith from The Office now lives literally 10 minutes away from my theater because I see her constantly. So he came with us as well, and they were like, well, who do you want to, this is also the same time when I saw Gayracula. This was the same trip. Like, well, who are you thinking for this movie? And I was like, well, I'd really like to get our hands on Dee Snider. I'd like to get our hands on Corey Feldman. I'd like to get our hands on Rudy Ray Moore. So this agent was able to set up a meeting where it was Rudy Ray Moore, Don the Bishop Magic Wand, who, if you know who that is, he's the world's most famous pimp. He was in Old School. Corey Feldman, his manager Scott, and I'm trying to remember who else was there. But we all went to P.F. Chang's in Studio City. And Corey Feldman's favorite thing to say is retard. Like, he's like, oh, it's so retarded. Back when, you could say that. I get bleeped, right? Everything I say that's inappropriate gets bleeped when you guys see it. So he's doing his whole thing, and is he still in his Michael Jackson phase? Didn't Michael Jackson abandon him in New York on 9/11, and that's when he stopped his Michael Jackson phase? So Corey Feldman and Scott are talking about what they want the rewrite of the movie to be, and then Dolomite is there. And he's not talking much, but he's in bad shape at this point. This is before his so-called daughter that he had, took over complete control of his estate and didn't let him communicate with people anymore. So we're at P.F. Chang's, and I'm pitching the movie to them, and they seem somewhat interested, but I needed more napkins for my Mongolian meat, and when I reached, Don the Bishop Magic Wand's bodyguard literally grabbed my wrist and hooked my hand like this and held it that way. And then him and Don the Bishop Magic Wand got up and walked away from the table because they thought that I was grabbing for the world's most famous pimp. So the meeting just fell apart there. And then Rudy Ray Moore's people were just yeah, I don't know, it was kind of weird, he really wasn't, down with you guys and all that kind of stuff. So we lost him, but then, after Corey Feldman was still involved for a little bit, and then we got Squints from The Sandlot, and then we brought Squints to a convention that we were at, and he was trying to be all street, and he said, he told me that if somebody scuffed his shoe, and he's like, yeah, if this was Cali, it'd have been pop, pop street. And I'm just looking at this guy what the fuck is happening? Like, why am I here? So eventually the whole fucking project fell apart and I had to come back to New Jersey with my tail between my legs. But I found out that the reason that it all really fell apart was we went out to this club, and I don't do clubs. I don't really drink that much. I've never done drugs. I've smoked weed, but so we went out to this club, and that dude Kevin that I was with and the dude in the Cape, they got super fucking blitzed, just destroyed. And we were supposed to go meet Corey Feldman's manager and a girl named Pumpkin Pie. All right. And she, I guess, was like an 80s groupie who had like a bunch of friends in the club scene and stuff like that. And I kind of hung back by myself and I was just talking to some people. But apparently the two of them made such asses of themselves that they got kicked out of the club that I had to get a taxi back because this was before Uber. And that apparently was the thing that put the nail in the coffin for Miramax. The Weinstein Dimension Films thing at that point was that we looked like such fucking bumpkins out there, like me reaching across the table and those two getting crunk made us look so bad that they sent us home, and then we missed out on being in the writer's room for the remake of Prom Night and the remake of April Fool's Day. So that's how my little zombie script led to a weird like couple months in LA, and it all... You said crunked. Yeah, well, I didn't get a chance to get crunked. I'm too much of a lame-o. Plus, I had a fiance at home at the time. Christy and I were engaged at that point. So I was like trying to be a nice boy and all that. Prom Night remake. Yes, it did suck. It could have been better if I was there. I don't know. So that was my, that's what that, Nude had Taco Bell. No, there are no Taco Bells around here. Vin Diesel drove by. He yelled family as he drove by. Although I didn't have Taco Bell, but I did have Baja Blast in my fridge in my office at the theater, and I forgot it was in there. So I took it home with me. But yeah, that was my little script story that led to all these weird fucking people being connected with us. At one point, Joel Reed was going to be part of it, the dude who directed Bloodsucking Freaks, and we had to go to his apartment in New York, and he lived in one of the Trump Towers, and this is 2003. And we had to take the bus in from Philly to New York on St. Patrick's Day. And I don't know if you know about any major metropolitan city on a holiday like that. It's just drunk people being crazy. And we were in the elevator with Macaulay Culkin and what's the girl? He used to date the girl from That 70s Show who was in Black Swan. So they were there, and I was trying to be cool, but then Kevin and the other guy Mila Kunis, that's it. They were talking to her, and I was like, oh my God. But then, we went to Joel M. Reed's apartment, and he made me super uncomfortable. So I was just like, oh God, I want to be out of here really quickly. But there's just this weird period of time where we were just wrapped up in all these fucking strange people. Hold on, I gotta see if I know I have the pictures here somewhere. I got a bunch of weird fucking pictures from our trip out there. Hold on. Me with blonde hair. Blonde-haired Newt. Look at those. I'm gonna find it. I'll be quick. Okay, they asked me, have you ever dated a black girl before? That's Tia. Tia and I dated for a long time. Actually, I met Crystal right after I broke up with Tia. She was super cool. She was part black, part Korean. She was an exotic dancer when I met her, and I'd never been to a strip club before. Hold on. Battery is low. There we go. Oh, we're live. Trying to stay connected. Good? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Better than Victor Salva. Yeah, rather not have a Victor Salva connection. Hold on, I know I've got to find it. I have a really creepy picture with Joel Reed. Just lots of pictures of ex-girlfriends. Back when I used to have six-pack abs, I was in really good shape at one point. To make sure we're still here. There we go. I don't know where stuff is. I don't know where stuff is. So did we all. Is he Lou Reed? No, he's in no relation to Lou Reed. I'm gonna find this. I know I have them here somewhere. There's the day I drove John Cena around. I think I posted this online before. High school Newt, senior year of high school with my friend Christine. I was so in love with her when I was a kid. Baby Newt. So innocent once. You want to know the John... I thought I've told the John Cena story a few times, actually. Tons and tons of movie theater pictures. More pictures with John Cena. Sorry, it's supposed to be super interesting for you guys to watch me flip through a photo album. See her face, and it makes me sad, man. Oh, here we go. So this is in Studio City, the day of the meeting with all those guys. That's Kevin outside of there, and then we had see, I back everything up because I'm always like, people are never gonna believe my fucking stories, so I always try to back everything up. This is the after meeting. This is myself, Kevin, and the dude who wore the cape with Rudy Ray Moore and his manager and all that at Cantor's Deli in downtown LA when they told me that that we came off as kind of bumpkins. Oh, here you go. That's Joel Reed, the dude who directed Bloodsucking Freaks. Do I look uncomfortable? Can you tell how uncomfortable I was in this picture? Dolomite was rocking the fro at that point. And then I took a picture to mark the occasion when we got sent home. So that's the moment that they told us that we were going home. And I just wanted to capture the the moment of like, oh fuck, did we do this kind of vibe to it? And this was from 2003. So I had a whole series of adventures before I met you guys. Oh, here you go. That was the first time I almost died. A car drove straight up my hood, and I technically died on the operating table. Check that out. My mom took these, and I hold on to them. Oh, at one point I had a goatee. Not a good look. But yeah, I have just tons and tons of pictures that I've taken over the years to mark, again, blonde. Like, why didn't anybody tell me that blonde hair was not a good look? You know? She dyed her hair blonde, so she's like, dye your hair blonde. So it looks like an alias of you. Yeah, like, remember when, like, there was, like, evil Spock? And then here you go. This is the night, the Gay Racula story. This was that night at the Grauman's Chinese Theater. It was foggy when we came out of a thing, so I took a picture of it. So that's the Gay Racula night. Have it all. Yeah, it was a whole fucking lifetime ago, man. Very, very different, Newt back then. Hockey pictures. High school graduation. God damn, man. State championship for ice hockey back when I used to be an athlete. But yeah, that's some old Newt pictures. There you go. That's I told this story about getting up and walking out of Transformers 2 to go fornicate in the projection booth, and that was a certain redhead that you know. Scrolling down Newt Lane, that's right. It's all. I look back at this shit and I'm like, wow, how was this long ago? Pictures of my old apartments, pictures of when my hair was super long and shaggy and looked ridiculous. But yeah, that's it. I don't want to make myself sad now by looking through old pictures of people. I have so many pictures of Christy and Crystal and all that kind of stuff. So, I had a much better time than watching. Yes, I did have a much better time that night than a current nude photo. Yeah. What was the video you shot last night about? The video I shot last night was about Ricky O, the story of Ricky. Is Deep Red the best Italian horror movie? Not the best, but it's definitely my favorite pure giallo, and that's tomorrow's What the Fuck Wednesday review. Now I made myself sad. Yeah, it's weird, man. Time fucking flies. It's strange to look back. Like, I get this vibe of like, yeah, I mean, I eventually saw the rest of Transformers 2, but we bailed and made better use of the projection booth, and then my office, and then the booth bathroom, and then my car, then my apartment. Yeah, no, Deep Red is great. My bedroom, my entire wall on the one side is all framed, 2 in a row, all Italian movie posters, and one of the ones is Deep Red. It's one of my most expensive posters. Oh yeah, every theater I've ever run has been clapped. So actually, I think every place I've ever managed, hotels, comic book store, movie theaters, has been sullied by me. I'd be down with that. Well, Hercules and Newt. I could be Newt. Deep Roy could be Hercules. Let's go 11 hours. No, because we plan on going late tomorrow night. So you're saying I got a chance? Goblin, you never know. Get some drinks in me, I'm in a very tenuous place in my life, and I hope nobody tries to take advantage of me. I don't know about donkey dicked. I did because I'm short. You know, my ex's dad, I used to play ice hockey with, and he brought up that I called me a tripod, and used to ask her like, "Are you okay?" Like, and she's like, "That's not weird for my dad to ask me that." But her dad and I are still friends. When she passed on, he and I have gone out and had some drinks together and commiserated. And actually, her daughter is going to come and work on some of my projects as well, so I can keep them as part of my family, my life. You know, it's a brotherhood. It's not gay in Ohio, right? Isn't that the state saying? It's on the flag, I think. It's not gay in Ohio. Um, what was the worst place you've managed? I think you all know the answer to that. Theater wise, probably Water Tower when I started doing the channel again. It's a Bermuda Triangle of the Manland. Can I wear my Ricky Vaughn jersey? We can go full major leagues on it. Uh, yeah, no, Water Tower was the worst theater that I managed. Worst management job was being the uh, production inventory office and gaming office manager for that other company. Um, when I was there, I knew it was a bad idea, and I probably should have left earlier. Just ask the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, true. Well, they're not the Indians anymore. They're the Cleveland Guardians now. Um, were the were the Animaniacs in the water tower? No. We had this old studio in Allentown, PA, had a water tower behind it, and we always talked about if we stayed there, where can I get a film splice razor? I'm not sure. Probably eBay. I still have mine. I think I talk about in an upcoming video. I've had this since I was 14 years old, and it's been the same one. It's got the very last film I ever spliced. The tape is still here. But yeah, I've had this thing forever. The dude from Ohio who did the Poultrygeist video game, he came out and shot a thing with me and with Metz and some other people about movie theater stories. That's why I took down one of my movie theater story videos, and I showed in it how to use this. But I also have like, I have old film lenses. I have a brain to a projector still. Never had a single brain wrap, but I fixed many. I remember having to fix a couple that Justin Silverman did back in the day when he was my employee at Regal. But yeah, I collected a bunch of film shit that I still have. Out of curiosity, are there any openings at your theater, job wise? No, I'm actually looking to get out of my theater. The owner of the company's son is kind of between jobs right now, so he's taken on a lot of responsibilities that I was doing. So I've been kind of looking for other opportunities, for stuff. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm in that point now where I don't know what I want to do, but I feel like I don't want to waste what's left of. I don't want to wait for my life to be over. I don't want to waste what I have left of my life, and I want to try to make some positive momentum. But I also need to pay my bills and make sure my cat's take me to your theater. I want to make sure my cat's well fed and has all the toys and treats and stuff that she wants. So Metz always makes fun of me for there never being any food in my fridge, but my cat has everything because I'll eat at work. I don't need anything here. I went today and went shopping and got cleaning supplies and stuff like that. Let's make some funky splatter shit. I'd love to. I don't want to wait for my lunch to get colder. Yeah, that's why I'm talking to SRS Cinema about. But you have to be bare ass in it. I've done nudity on film before. I just don't know if any of that shit ever came out. I did a dude's horror movie in like 2013, 14, something like that. I did fucking full blown balls out nudity because nobody else would do it, and I was like, fucking cares, you know? Um, but I was in better shape then too. Okay. Yeah, I should I should like meal prep and have things ready to go. Like I bought shit at Wawa here. I saw you send stuff to SRS. A close friend does work for them. It's a great company. Oh, I never catch Newt live. Well, here I am. I'm here. Metz still wrestling. Yes, Metz is wrestling tonight. Um, so they'll be back tomorrow. I don't know. I've always had a very good relationship with Wild Eye, so I don't have anything bad to say about them. But SRS reached out about some pitches, so I sent them some of my like microest of micro uh, scripts and poster artwork and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. But like I said earlier in this stream, like we're lining up the release dates on some of the Donald Farmer stuff that I worked on, and with Culture Shock and with Wild Eye, so that I can do a push of it, and they can send me marketing materials and stuff like that, so that I can properly promote the stuff that I worked on. It'd be fun. Yo, no, I definitely look forward to going to Metz's. Some of my friends over, they back ended. Oh, really? I mean, it's weird because how like I understand I understand how their bookkeeping is done. When are they going to lose? Hopefully not soon, because they sucked so badly at the beginning of the season that I need them to keep up on a roll right now. Watching Riff Track's Robo Vampire. I literally was just talking about Robo Vampire to a friend of mine earlier today, because we started talking about Claudio Fragasso, and then we were talking about Vincent Dawn, and somewhere along, hey, what's going on, Ted? Somewhere along the line, we got to Robo Vampire. So it's funny that you bring that up, because literally, like a couple hours ago, I was explaining the plot of that movie to somebody. I'm gonna have to put back all the shit that I pulled out and made a mess of pictures and film stuff. Yeah, there's been a bunch of people on Twitter who've tried to get me into like a whole logos to a guy in bandage gear. My favorite logo of theirs was the one that Todd McFarlane designed. I have that jersey hanging in the other room. I have every Oilers jersey, but I love that third jersey with the puck thing that Todd McFarlane designed. But no, a bunch of people tried to lure me into like a fuck Wild Eye thing, but they've always treated me well. I have nothing bad to say about them, because they could have easily, after all the Screenwave stuff happened, been like, we're not going to work with you, like a lot of people did. Like fucking the Asylum dropped me because they were scared to piss off Screenwave and stuff like that, and Wild Eye stuck by me, so I can't really I can't really say anything. Now Trauma doesn't pay anybody. That's their whole MO, and I think people go into it knowing that they don't pay anything. Make it hail. Yeah, I've only been to one strip club ever, and it was with Justin, Crystal, and Kieran. And Kieran was convinced that the stripper actually liked him, and it was weird. It's your own experience. I'm glad you had a good one. Yeah, and I mean, that's different. Like, there's companies out there that I know a lot of people who are like, oh my God, these are the greatest guys ever. And I had a really negative experience with them. So it's all about perception. So we're hitting the strip club when you come to town. Well, we're only going to be there. We're getting there Friday night. Well, you have to remember, Metz is driving. So we have to remember that Metz is on Metz time, and they usually wake up like when the sun has already gone down. So when we're leaving is totally up to them. And we're going to stay till Sunday because I got work on Monday. Poor Kieran. Not really. I have my own thoughts on him, and I always have. but I always played nice for the sake of, friendships and stuff like that. Um, so that's just me. I was in, it's like it's different when people see things from the perception of YouTube, or they see things from the perception of uh, the Cinemassacre Truth or something like that. I was there. I know these people, and they know me, and they talk shit about me, and there's a lot of things that I'd love to say, but I'm not going to. Um, okay. Yeah, there was no lap dances had at the one that I went to. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. It had like 1990s skating ring carpet. Um, uh, they wouldn't let James come, despite the fact that James wanted to come. Um, so it was just us, and I was the only one sober enough to drive home that night. So I wound up having to drive people home, and then get to work early the next morning because the exterminator was coming. Because Screamwave's office at that point was experiencing all the plagues at once. Dude, but I'm your friend and I talk shit about things. No, I know, but you and I can talk shit about things like that. Like, that's a totally different story. There was definitely a vape, like, denim smell. Um, yeah, my girlfriend, a former stripper, and who said that. Yeah, I dated a stripper too. And she was in much better shape and way better looking than me. I was a fucking loser who ran a comic book store and a movie theater at the time. So what she was doing with me, I have no idea. But actually, no, you know what? She was with a dude who was super abusive before me, and I'm nice, and kind of a pushover sometimes too. So we had a good time. And then I hired her brother actually when I was at Screenwave, and then Ryan forced me to fire him. And then after I was gone, blamed that on me, despite the fact that they forced me to bring him back because of COVID. And then the same thing with that Xander guy. They wanted him fired because he wouldn't come back to the office. So then I had to be the bad guy. And then once I was gone, they blamed me for that. Whatever. All we know is that there was a time and we had it. But yeah, no, I've never been a strip club guy. I know a lot of people who hang out at them and stuff. Nothing against it. Just not my bag, you know. It's like roller derby going on, or auto derby going on outside, in the parking lot here. Back to the Future or the Time Machine? No, we talking about like the Time Machine, like the book, because I'm gonna go with Back to the Future. The Time Machine remake with that was done by Wells's like great grandson or something was terrible, but I liked Jeremy Irons in it because it was super weird. I think you should do a video on your sweet movie posters eventually. Did they really accuse Kieran of trying to steal rental reviews? I don't know. I know that people on Reddit don't always understand like uh, the difference in reality and fantasy. And there's a skit they shot where Mike throws Kieran out the window, and they actually thought that really happened. But then it was the same thing with when they used to shoot their reviews at my theater, and I would throw them out as a bit at the end of it. I got like attacked by people on Reddit, on our Yelp page and stuff like that. I'm like, I can't believe you threw them out of there. Do you know who they are? Do you know how many followers they have? I was like, it's pretty clear that it was a joke. Like, how would they have gotten the gear back? And then why wouldn't they have edited that part out if there was somebody really threw them out? Like, do you guys not understand how this works, you know? I don't know. I never really watched rental reviews either, though. Yeah, it was. Well, and it's funny because rental reviews only happened because Underbelly was supposed to come back. Um, in 2013, we shot a reboot, 3 episodes, I wrote all three of them, and I included Crystal in it too. And Ryan liked it and wanted to bring Underbelly back. Justin contacted me to see if I wanted to do it, and then because I had no ownership, I never got paid for any of the YouTube stuff that I did. So they had a meeting with Frank and with Sean, who had the ownership of Underbelly, and they wanted too much money. So Ryan nixed the entire thing and then started rental reviews. I was supposed to be on that, but then they gave it to Tony and Kieran. And then I was supposed to be in a review, but then that never happened. And then I got blamed for killing the show with Night Killer, which was supposed to be my episode, but it was only because they didn't want somebody they didn't know on the thing, because they said that they got a bunch of shit for people not being properly introduced. But I never watched AVGN, so I don't really, like, I've only seen a handful of episodes, only because, like, when I would have the very first time that we had do you know the guys from Movie Dumpster? Yep, I knew them. Sean, I don't really know as well. I used to have to keep him out of my office because he doesn't have an inside voice. Let's just do a show together. I know, it'd be much easier that way. But yeah, Joe was an effects guy who I met working on another project, and I started hiring him to do effects stuff for me, and then I introduced him to all those guys, and then he went and did effects for AVGN, and then I introduced him to Tony, and then those two became friends, and then once I was out, have you ever seen Review Zero? No, I don't like that guy. That Review Zero dude's like he's a pompous asshole, you know? And he's always like, you know, just thinking he's better than everybody. Race does Review Zero, and I'm just kidding. I love Review Zero, and I love Race. And again, Race is somebody who I met through Reddit and turned out to be just a really fucking good dude, you know? So not everybody over there is terrible. I've met some good people through it as well. But yeah, Joe did a bunch of stuff for me, and I was paying Joe where other people were not paying them. A lot of it. Well, yeah, because now Sean's responsible for doing all of the work that I was doing and then that Kieran was doing, so he doesn't have time to do the other show. So, you know, he's now responsible for that. But it's funny because Joe was given you know what, I'm not going to tell this story. It'll get me in trouble. Never mind. I forget sometimes that I'm not just talking to people that, like, I almost did something terrible there. Sean's changed his voice. I don't know. I used to have to put no, I'm not going to. I'll tell you at the convention. I used to have to put a production light outside of my office door, and I would have it blinking red to keep Sean and Kieran out of my office so that I could do my work, because they would just come in and just talk about things. Like, I'm like, dude, I've never played Street Fighter Tournament Edition, Kieran. I'm sorry. I've never played Resident Evil 2. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about air fryers, Kieran. I'm sorry. You know, and so I was like, I had to put that out there just to keep me so that I could do my work. And if they saw the production light, then they would leave me alone. He's an avid, and his wife is like super racist towards white people, more racist than me, and I'm super racist towards white people. She also offended Fredo and Ray at the drive-in, but that's a story for another time. But no, I think Joe's a super talented special effects guy, and I would have loved to have continued to work with him. I think we did some really, really good work, but same thing with Mr. Lobo. Like, they know who butters their bread, so they're not gonna work with me if it would affect them with Screenwave. So it is what it is, you know. I found some other great effects people, and the stuff that we did do won awards, like Creature Feature, and, like, you know, we did Swamp Zombies 2 and stuff like that. So, you know. You're right, Goblin. I mean, there's a lot of fucking drama, you know. Postal. Okay. The people I met some cool makeup people at the shoot I did on Sunday. A girl who doesn't live far from here who does makeup effects and stuff like that. Is Kieran back to doing his own show? I don't know. Again, like Johanna, Tony, Crystal, Justin, Ryan, all those people, Lobo, Joe, Sean, all them. They've all blocked me on all social media, so I have no idea what any of those people are up to. 2 hours away. Okay, I mean, yeah. It's bullshit. I want to hear the tea. Oh, there's so much tea, But the funny thing is, like, I've taken the bullet out of the gun because I've already said the shit that I did wrong, and that was the meeting that we had at Miller's Ale House when Ryan said he was going to release all those emails and this and that, and I was like, all right, I'll just go out and tell people what I did, and that way, it removes the bullet from the gun, because also it's like it's a lot of shit that has been done that I didn't do. I wouldn't associate with pedophiles and stuff like that, 24/4. It's time to move on. I agree. But, in a perfect world, I'd love to work with some of those people again. I wanted desperately to work with Joe on some stuff. I really wanted Lobo to be part of the Plan 9 remake, but, it just didn't happen. I've talked to Uwe Boll a few times. We had him, he was part of an Underbelly gag that we did, and he gave us permission to do that. So yeah, I like him as a director though. Yeah, Lobo did a ton of narrations for Midnight Show and stuff, and that's why the movie hasn't come out. Is I had to take out so much stuff, and replace it so that they didn't try to like sue me and all that kind of stuff. So, but maybe one day if I'm established enough, people will people will change their mind and want to come work with me, and the best flex ever is to forgive people and move on with your lives. But that's kind of it. All right, so we've been going for 2 hours, and I'm gonna go because I gotta go move my car and get ready for work tomorrow. So I will talk to you guys all tomorrow, and Lobo, geez, and Metz will be here with us, and I will talk to everybody later.